So in our Hawaiian volcano summary for this week, Kilauea has been pretty quiet. Earthquake rates have decreased even further from last week, as you can see here at the right end of this graph. It's been just about a month. The end of January was the big spike in activity, earthquakes, and the big pulse of intrusion down the southwest rift of Kilauea. And since then, it's come down first quite a bit, and then a little bit more, and a little bit more. And here we are at close to background levels again, although not quite. Not quite. If you look at the earthquake map this week, here it is, our activity. I'll zoom it in. This is colored by depth. So you see the oranges and reds are the closest to the surface. And there's still some activity down the southwest rift pathway that was intruded, and a little bit of earthquakes as well, just off to the south, presumably because this whole Kauai fault zone area is still adjusting and moving seaward in response to that gathering magma. So most of the magma has been injected already, but it can, there's gravity, there's a big crack, the crack's moving, the ground's moving. So there could be more space created, and that can allow the magma to settle and keep adjusting a little bit. And that's what we're basically seeing. Is if we look at the summit itself has been in an inflationary trend for the most part, with deflation inflation cycle superimposed upon it. And that's been a pattern for most of this last month here since that intrusion. But over the last week, it's been much more subtle. It's been close to constant with those variations. And that's at the summit. If we look at the GPS station down at Elemakule, which is down on the southwest coast, KULE station here, we can see that, especially in this north-south component over here on the right, that it had been moving south already, but it seems to have sped up, especially in the last week, perhaps 2 weeks here. So this is the strongest signal this last week, and it's all the way down at the southwest flank of the volcano, which still suggests that there's still adjustment ongoing in that part of the volcano, and maybe that's helping relieve the pressure from the summit a little bit. So pretty slow, pretty quiet, perhaps because it's still adjusting. It's basically still wrapping up that last sequence. It hasn't all locked into place. Everything hasn't stopped moving yet. So that's the summary for Kilauea. And for Mauna Loa, we'll just show this plot, earthquake rates for the past 5 years, earthquakes per month. So this was a buildup to our eruption at the end of 2022. And here we are in early 2024, where all of 2023 as well was pretty quiet. And here we are, even more quiet than usual. And once again, perhaps the motion of Kilauea's southwest flank also affects Mauna Loa's southeast flank. That then can be relieve the pressure and quake a little bit less as well. So the more the rocks move out of the way, the less pressure can build, even if magma is filling up, and that can cause less earthquakes. And that might be what we're seeing on both Mauna Loa and Kilauea. And that's our summary for this week.